it is worth pointing out that it's really hard now to calibrate when trash talk rises to the level of actually mattering. And I thought about this when we were listening to Dillon Brooks and his duel against LeBron James. Can we play the post-game sound from the Grizzlies snuffing out the Lakers and then Dillon Brooks showing up and saying this?
There are some people, Lakers are making that run, they get up to 14. You and LeBron have that exchange. There are people out there that say maybe you shouldn't do that with one of the better players in the game. I guess what were you thinking?
I don't care. He's old. You know what I mean? I was waiting for that. I was expecting him to do that game 4, game 5. He wanted to say something when I got my 4th foul. He should have been saying that earlier on. But, you know, I poke bears. I don't respect no one until they come and give me 40. So
hell yeah.
I pride myself on, you know, what I do is defense and taking on any challenge that's on the board. If it's LeBron, if it's AD, if it's whoever. And I play my heart out. So, you know, he knows that. You know, most of the NBA knows that. And I know my guys know that, and I try to get him on that same type of time every time we touch that floor.
Dillon Brooks, like this entire show today, enjoying poking bears. But I now have to wonder. I have to wonder whether this moves us and whether the visuals on this are actually really important to understanding how this should come across. Because, Amin, how would you describe how Dillon Brooks was looking as we were listening to him say all of that?
Again, if you are on youtube.com/lebatard and friends, you saw the video. You saw what he looked like. And he looked like the minion from Biff's gang in Back to the Future. the one with the 3D glasses.
Is there a mohawk in there?
No, mohawk I think was that was Griff's gang.
That's right.
That was his grandson.
But kind of like Dillon Brooks does look like a bully from the future is what he's trying to cosplay as. He's wearing a flannel kimono shirt.
Yeah.
It was described as a flannel shirt in the post-game reporting. I mean, this is not.
It's not cut like a flannel
shirt.
It's flannel material, but it's not cut.
Kind of like a blazer almost.
His sunglasses look like they weigh 10 pounds.
They are so large, and the thickness, the girth on the frame is extreme. And also, he's not wearing a shirt underneath the flannel kimono.
We're kind of zoomed in a little tight as well. We missed the chain that has his initials on there.
Yeah, let's remove lower third to get the full experience.
Can we get that look?
No, we can't do that. But what is 40 the?
We can't do that. Come on,
is 40
guys.
the tipping point?
Let's go
on being able to respect somebody.
Well, I mean, look, that happened fast for us, right? Like the idea that LeBron would reach a place where the guy just dismisses him as old, right? That LeBron is the corny old guy, basically, and Dillon Brooks is young and cool. And for all things young and cool, I like to go to Tony as our correspondent on Young and Cool. Tony.
Let's go!
Tony?
I whispered something into Amin's ear as the Dillon Brooks was being played, the video, and I whispered to him, and I was like, hey, I kind of like Dillon Brooks. There's something about him that I like. He's the heel. He knows what he's doing.
There are 2 people in this room younger than Tony. But although one of them is...
Let's go! You also watch Columbo, so that kind of knocks you off for a second.
Gen Z loves Columbo.
He's got
I don't know
a
what
great
that
point
is.
about the Columbo.
Columbo
Gen
shit
Z
sucks.
loves
Anyways.
Columbo.
Sudoku, crosswords, and Columbo. Jess Matana is
87 years old.
Aging
Classic
right before our
32-year-old take, Tony.
She
31.
loves Columbo.
Oh! But there's something about Dillon Brooks. He's like the wrestling heel. He comes in with the vest, no shirt.
But that's the thing. No, Tony, but that's the thing.
But I like that.
But everybody is so... Dillon Brooks came into prominence this season, right? I mean, because he was sparring with Draymond Green. And so I imagine that this week in particular, Dillon Brooks is feeling himself. His chest is literally and figuratively out. He is somebody who has been doing, per Draymond Green's assessment, essentially Draymond Green karaoke. Wrestling heel karaoke. And my question is whether this happens so deliberately and so often now that it's just harder to move me as someone who's like the kid hanging on the chain link fence after school going like, oh, ooh. Like, am I really feeling that way when I hear Dillon Brooks call LeBron James old? I feel like You got to become stronger than that, man.
I think we are in an era where between him, Patrick Beverly, there seems to be this proliferation of guys who talk shit that people don't necessarily fear or even respect. Right? This isn't like Gary Payton and Larry Bird and or even
Love.
You know what's up?
Larry Legend.
Yeah. Thanks.
So glad Stugotz is just lying on the floor in the background.
We should have all those as drops, by the way. Just have them sit in the studio one
To
day.
anticipate the glove is kind of difficult.
Big library there on all the sports people's.
That's true. It is an endless supply. But yeah, man, like
Speaking of an endless supply, Patrick Beverly, Dillon Brooks, go
Pat
down
Bev.
the list. Go down the list. But you're right. I mean, like for me, if you're gonna like talk shit on LeBron James, make fun of him for not finishing books. Make fun of him for being actually a corny guy on Instagram. Make fun of him for the stuff that actually cuts a little closer to the bone as opposed to you're old. I'm like, come on, man.
Well, not only that,
2023.
He says, if you don't drop 40 on me, I don't respect you. So wait, 37 is like
39?
But this is the inflation I'm talking about, right? There's the offensive inflation of the NBA in the modern era where 50 is the new 40 and 40 is the new 30, to the point that Mike was raising. Is that the threshold? Maybe it is now. But then there is clearly trash talk inflation. Like it's everywhere, and it's really cheap and easy, and it's throwing off the economy of people who make content because now it's like, oh my God, someone spit into the wind. Someone tugged on Superman's cape, and it's like, well, everybody's kind of doing that now. I half expect Dillon Brooks to launch a podcast at Meadowlark.